If you're anything like me and you're spending your entire day at your desk and even sometimes the night, there's a chance that you're having comfort issues. In this video, I'm going to share 5 tips to make sure you're always comfortable at your desk. One of the most common myths that we hear with low lighting is that it can cause long-term damage with your eyes, but that is just a myth. Now, it can cause eye strain, discomfort, headaches, and potentially a lack of efficiency while you're working at your desk. Now, one of the things you really want to focus on, though, is proper overhead lighting. This is something that you'll find typically in a normal office space or in your home. Also, natural lighting, things that are coming in from windows. If you have that, that will definitely help quite a bit. Beyond that, though, you really want to look for specific types of task lighting that will really put a focus on the work that you're doing on your desk. Now, you'll see here, this is your typical task light. These have been around for a long time. They do have some shortcomings. I find that they don't necessarily reach in the right places. It's hard to get them in the center of your desk because of things like your monitors being in the way or just even reach potential issues. But what I've been recently trying are monitor light bars. These set on top of your monitor, and I think these are the best way to go. They're out of the way. They put the lighting right in focus, and I think that this is probably your best fit to really customize the lighting that you're getting. Our second tip is to find a good supportive chair that's also comfortable. Now, of course, we're a channel dedicated to office seating. That's really probably why you're watching this channel. So it's no surprise that we're recommending that you find a good, comfortable chair. But it's really a foundational piece to being comfortable at your desk all day. Now, ergonomics can be a very confusing thing because when you look at ergonomics and what ergonomists recommend, people think that just being comfortable in your chair is some type of level of proper ergonomics. And while at some level that's true, you need to have good support. And if you don't have proper support, you will develop habits that will cause issues down the road. So that's why it's very important to find a chair that's supportive and fits you and is also comfortable. Our third tip is making sure that you get your desk height correct. Now, this can be a bit confusing because if we're buying just a sitting height desk, the traditional desk is going to be somewhere between 29 and 30 inches, which is really reserved to individuals that are about 6 feet to maybe 6'2". So the rest of everyone else won't potentially fit at their desk comfortably. Now, what you want to do when you're trying to fit comfortably is be able to have your arms or your elbows rested at your side comfortably, have good support from the armrest in your chair, and not have any awkward positioning for your wrist while you're typing or using a mouse on your keyboard. Now, if you don't fit at the desk, this will pose an issue. Some of the remedies, you can look at standing desks. While standing desks would make you think that they're only for standing, a lot of them are going to actually be sit to stand, allowing you to sit as well, and they will go below the typical range of 29 to 30 inches, some of them going as low as 22 inches. If you have just a sitting height desk and you want to remedy that, you could potentially look at things like a footrest, which we'll jump into next because that is our next tip in the list. Our fourth tip is to add a footrest to your setup. Now, one of the most common things that you'll find from an ergonomic accessory is a monitor arm, and that's actually something that we have across pretty much every desk here in the office. But a footrest is one of the things that a lot of us don't necessarily think about, but it is also something that's being used across the board with the exception of only one person in the office. Now, no matter the height, we have people that range in height from 6'2", 6'3", all the way down to 5'2". So they're seeing the benefit in adding a footrest. Now, if you're a shorter individual and you want to really bring the floor up to you so that you can fit at a desk that's a bit too tall, this is one way to do it. Now, for me, being 6 foot tall and using a standing desk, I don't have that problem, but I still like to use a footrest. It's just nice to be able to kind of move around, perch your foot up, just have some additional movement throughout the day. The fifth and final tip is monitor positioning. Now, the recommendation is that you set your monitor to be at your eye level or just below, and so that it's at about arm lengths away from where you're sitting. Now, this can vary depending on the size of your monitor. If it's a larger monitor, you probably want to be a little bit further away from it. If you're someone who's using a single monitor, there's a good chance you'll increase your productivity if you go into a dual screen setup or even an ultra wide screen setup. Additionally, if you go into a multiple monitor setup, you'll want to consider how you actually position your monitors. Some people like to have 2 monitors in a landscape. Some people, like myself, like to use a monitor in a landscape and also one in portrait mode. If you're using things like Excel where you need additional height, this can definitely improve your efficiency and can just be a little bit easier to view. But of course, you want to make sure that your main monitor is directly in front of you, so that's where your focus can be and it doesn't create any additional strain on your neck or your eyes. rise. Use these tips to ensure that you're always comfortable at your desk, and don't forget to check out the next video where we take a deeper look at 5 tips to make sure you're always comfortable in your office chair. Thanks for watching.